In the 1990s, childhood looked very different. A child's joy often revolved around toy cars, dolls, outdoor games, and the sheer magic of imagination. Fast forward to 2025, and the same toy car has been replaced by a sleek tablet or smartphone. What once encouraged children to run, play, and interact with the world around them is now replaced by glowing screens that capture their attention for hours on end. This shift has led to a silent epidemic spreading across India: screen addiction among children. It is not just a lifestyle issue but a growing health crisis that parents, doctors, and educators are now deeply concerned about. The rise of digital devices was initially celebrated as a revolution in learning and entertainment. Parents believed educational apps, cartoons, and interactive games would help children become smarter. But gradually, the darker side of screens has come to light. Studies across the world, including in India, show that children spending excessive time on digital devices are suffering from multiple health problems. Weak eyesight is now common in children as young as 5, something that was rare a few decades ago. Blue light emitted from phones and tablets affects their vision and also disrupts natural sleep cycles. Children who use screens late into the night often suffer from insomnia, poor quality sleep, and irregular sleeping habits that affect their growth and academic performance. Another visible outcome is obesity. In earlier times, kids would run, jump, cycle, or play cricket with friends. These activities burned calories and kept them physically active. But today, many children prefer sitting in one place for hours with a tablet or phone. The lack of physical activity, combined with increased junk food consumption while watching videos or gaming, has triggered a sharp rise in childhood obesity in India. Doctors are now warning that this generation could face serious health issues such as diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease at much younger ages. Screen addiction also has deep psychological effects. One of the most worrying concerns is its link to attention deficit hyperactivity disorder (ADHD). Constant exposure to fast-moving cartoons, reels, and games reduces a child's attention span. Their brains become used to instant stimulation, making it harder for them to focus on real-world activities like reading or classroom learning. Teachers in India report that students are becoming more restless, distracted, and unable to concentrate for long periods. Even more alarming is the phenomenon known as virtual autism. Psychologists have observed that children who spend most of their early years on screens often display symptoms similar to autism spectrum disorder: poor eye contact, delayed speech, difficulty in social interactions, and emotional detachment. While not true autism, this condition is caused by the lack of human interaction during critical developmental stages. Instead of learning language and emotions from parents and peers, children learn robotic expressions from digital content, which stunts their natural growth. Parents are often caught in a difficult situation. Many use screens as babysitters to keep children occupied while they manage work or household chores. In urban India, where nuclear families are common and both parents often work, tablets and smartphones have become convenient tools to calm a crying child or keep them entertained during meals. But this short-term relief has long-term consequences. Once children become used to constant screen entertainment, they throw tantrums without it, leading to dependency and even withdrawal symptoms similar to substance addiction. The cultural impact is equally concerning. Traditional Indian childhood, with its festivals, family gatherings, folk stories, and outdoor play, is slowly disappearing. Instead of playing gully cricket or flying kites, children are now competing in virtual games with strangers online. Social bonding, teamwork, and empathy, qualities once nurtured through shared activities, are being replaced by isolation and artificial interactions. The family dinner table, once a place of stories and laughter, is now often silent, with everyone glued to their devices. The scale of the problem is reflected in numbers. Surveys in India suggest that children between the ages of 5 and 15 are spending an average of 5 to 7 hours daily on screens. In metro cities, the figure is even higher. This is far beyond the World Health Organization's recommended limit of 1 hour per day for young children. Experts warn that if this trend continues unchecked, the long-term consequences on the nation's health, productivity, and social fabric will be devastating. But there is hope. Across India, parents, doctors, and educators are waking up to the dangers of screen addiction and are finding solutions. Some schools have begun introducing digital detox programs, encouraging students to spend more time in physical activities, reading, and creative arts. Several housing societies and communities are reviving outdoor games, organizing events where children must leave gadgets behind and interact face-to-face. Pediatricians are now counseling parents to strictly regulate screen time, especially for children under the age of 5. Parents play the most crucial role in addressing this crisis. The first step is awareness, understanding that unlimited screen exposure is harmful. Setting boundaries, such as no devices during meals or before bedtime, can make a huge difference. Creating screen-free zones at home, like the bedroom or dining area, helps children separate digital life from real life. Replacing screen time with meaningful activities like storytelling, board games, art, and outdoor play can reintroduce children to the joy of real-world experiences. Equally important is leading by example. Children imitate their parents, so if adults themselves are constantly on their phones, it becomes harder to enforce rules. Families that dedicate time to shared activities, conversations, and hobbies show children that life outside screens can be equally fulfilling. Even small gestures, like reading a bedtime story instead of handing over a phone, create lifelong impacts. Technology itself is not the enemy. In moderation, it can be an incredible tool for learning, creativity, and connection. The problem lies in excess and lack of balance. Just as junk food in small amounts is fine but becomes harmful in excess, digital devices must be consumed wisely. Parents who teach their children digital literacy, not just how to use gadgets but also how to use them responsibly, prepare them for the future without compromising their health. The government and policymakers also have a responsibility. Stricter regulations on advertising aimed at children, especially unhealthy food and addictive apps, are necessary. Schools should be encouraged to include physical education and mindfulness practices in daily routines. Public campaigns, similar to those against tobacco, can spread awareness about screen addiction and its dangers. Health insurance policies might also consider covering therapies related to screen-induced disorders, making help more accessible for families in need. Real stories bring the crisis to life. In Delhi, a 7-year-old boy developed severe sleep problems after months of late-night gaming. In Mumbai, doctors reported a rise in children with digital eye strain, once seen only in office workers. In Bangalore, a child was diagnosed with virtual autism after spending almost all his waking hours watching videos on a tablet. These are not isolated incidents but part of a growing pattern that cannot be ignored. India stands at a crossroads. The choices parents and society make today will determine whether the next generation grows up healthy, creative, and socially connected, or isolated, unhealthy, and dependent on virtual stimulation. The transformation of a toy car in the 90s into a tablet in 2025 symbolizes much more than technological progress, it reflects a dramatic change in childhood itself. The challenge now is to ensure that technology serves children's growth rather than stunting it. By fostering awareness, discipline, and balance, India can protect its children from the silent epidemic of screen addiction. The future depends on whether we choose to let screens raise our kids or whether we take back that responsibility into our own hands. Childhood should be about wonder, play, learning, and human connection. If we act now, we can preserve that magic while still embracing the best that technology has to offer. The time for action is not tomorrow, but today, before it is too late. Would you like me to also make this article more emotionally engaging with storytelling using parent-child conversations and real-life style narration, so it feels even more like a YouTube script instead of a formal article?